just going to unplug the sun for a sec.
Okay. Okay, folks, slight change of plan. We're going to have to head back to camp. Yeah, we're just going to have to head back to camp. I don't know if we can go straight out. Yeah. Seb's just been stung and he needs to get antihistamines into him right now. So we're going to just quickly head back to camp. We'll see if we are able to go out after, but we're just getting back to camp now. Okay.
Sorry, folks.
At least we're close enough to camp. Hi everybody, this is Tara. Unfortunately we aren't going to be able to go back out. As I say, it was just when Seb just took out the sound and he said to me, "No, I've been stung, we need to head back as soon as possible," and I could see the hives coming up onto his face already. So unfortunately, yeah, I think he just needs to take some medication, and as much as I'd love to go out, and I know he wants to as well, but we think it's probably best that we don't. So sorry for that everybody, but thank you very much for joining us. At least we managed to get to see the giraffes and we managed to get to see a little bit of Shivambalana, so definitely thank you very much for joining us for that. And as I say, at least we were able to go out at least. So yes, the soap opera goes on. but yeah, as I say, it's I don't know if anybody's actually hearing me. I'm hoping you are. Ah, there we go. Hi, Sabrina. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to be able to say goodbye to Seb. He might actually just be able to come in and say goodbye on the microphone or something. But yeah, you can see where he apparently got stung on the hand, and then he said he got one on his face. So yeah, always better just. I mean, I'm actually very glad that we were here and not on the other side of the reserve. So I think that was definitely good that we were here, because then we could just literally just drop him off. So. But actually, what I can do is just stay for a little while longer and chat with anybody that does want to stay. If you and I see there's a few memories that came in, so I think it would be quite nice just to go through them. So if anybody is still here, I'm just going to have a quick check on Seb. I know we just put the vehicle back and just let him go and take his medication. But I just want to go and check on him quickly and make sure that he doesn't need to go to a doctor or anything. But if anybody would like to stay and chat, then please do. I'll be back and I'll go through some of those moments with you. And then later on today I'm going to be writing a blog about the leopards and Induna. I would like to have got up to where Induna was as well. So if anybody would like to send through any pictures that you took, then please do. I'm going to be using some of the pictures over the last a few drives as well with the warthog, with the baby and that sort of thing. So, excuse me. So if anybody does have any pictures of Induna from yesterday, maybe the snake eggs as well, or not the snake eggs, the monitor eggs. What else can we can have? Oh, Shivambalana from this morning. So if there's anything that springs to mind that you'd like picture-wise to share with people, then yeah, send it through and I'll see what I can do about the blog. But as I say, don't go too far. If you would like to stay and chat for a little bit longer, then please do. I'm just going to go and check on Seb quickly. Hi everybody, this is Tara again, and yes, Seb's taken a couple of antihistamine and put some cream on him, so hopefully he's going to be okay. He doesn't think he needs to go to the doctor at least, which is good. But yes, I think definitely good that we were close by. Phew! But yeah, so if anybody is still here, hello to you everybody. And going through the questions here. Favourite bird. What is my favourite bird? From Virginia. And favourite bird call. I think definitely the black-backed puffback. I love that call. Took me a while to master that one. Favourite bird. Definitely the bee-eaters. The white-fronted I really love. Really love the white-fronted bee-eaters. I'd say the black-backed puffback. And there is another one, I just can't think of it at the moment. That's really bad, isn't it? I know my favourite bird, just can't think of it. But yeah, the black-backed puffback goes. I'll try not to do it too loud and burst your eardrums. But I don't think Seb will be coming to say hello. He just needs to. He also needs to pack to go. He's actually flying out today to go to Cape Town. So yeah, he just needs to pack. But also, I think he needs to rest a little bit as well. Make sure that the toxin doesn't head all around his body. But he's got sort of hives coming up on his chest and his face. And apparently, he actually just got stung on his hand. I thought he got stung twice, but it was just on his hand. Apparently it was in his hair, and he went to brush whatever it was in his hair out, and that's where it stung him. Lucia in Cardiff. Yeah, as I say, I was hoping he was going to come and say goodbye, but I don't think he's going to be able to. Eagle Ranger, have I ever been charged on drive? Yes, once. When you have guests, you do go through the safety briefing just before you leave camp, and we usually do it once at the start of the drive, and then obviously if people do stuff, we just remind them. The usual thing is people standing. I mean, you get so overwhelmed and so excited, people sort of stand up and try and get a better view. So obviously you do remind them, please stay seated. And I had a full vehicle, and there was this one particular lioness. She's a bit like Karula. She was very successful, very intelligent. You could see it in her eyes. Her daughter was even more so. But there was something in her eyes that really said to you, be very careful of this one. She's calculating. And I remember hearing people saying, no, she's quite unpredictable, and you know, she'll walk away and then charge him from the side and that sort of thing. And so I was always quite, you know, wary of her as well. I mean, this was when I was first a guide, so it was, you know, you sort of take what other guides say, and obviously not really understanding the whole reasons behind it. And there was one day that I'd finished shadowing and I had my first guess, and I'd seen her, and I told one of the other guides, look, she's not happy, keep your distance. And obviously me being a little rookie, the other guide went, what do you know? Drove straight in, head onto her, full speed, and of course she charged. But she charged at that vehicle, she left us well alone, because when I'd actually pulled in, I pulled in slowly and tried to steer just to the left a little bit so that we weren't directly opposite her. and she gave a bit of a bark. She's like, "Ruff," you know, sort of showed her teeth, and that said to me, okay, she's not happy. I mean, we were a good 30 meters from her at that stage, but she wasn't happy. So I just reversed and let her settle down again. We switched off, and she settled, and she was fine until this idiot came along and yeah, guests were as white as sheets. But as I say, she left us well alone, and I think it just had a lot. The reason why people had problems with her is because they disrespected her, and I'll still stand by that. If you disrespect an animal, they will tell you about it. So I never had a problem with this lioness. I don't know, I think she must have just picked up the fact that I respected her, and you know, she allowed me, she would come very close to us, and she would actually allow me to get closer than other vehicles. I mean, I wouldn't push it, but she would allow me to get pretty close, and she actually settled down. I think other guides, especially when I became head ranger, I made sure that my guides, you know, didn't push the animals, and I had a very good team who did respect the animals. And I always remember this one, and she must have been upset, or there was something. I could see she wasn't a happy bunny, and she actually she had a cut above her eye, and I think they must have had a fight or something overnight, and she looked like she just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. So I kept my distance anyway that morning, and she didn't really look at us. She was, you know, doing her own thing, and she started walking down towards the rest of the pride, and I'd sort of positioned the vehicle so we were sideways on. So she was walking parallel to us basically, and we'd already stopped at that stage, so I hadn't moved. And this is why I'm not entirely sure what happened. But she was walking, and then she stopped and looked. Something caught her eye on my vehicle, and she immediately started running towards the vehicle. And at which point I shouted and went, "Hey!" you know, sort of slapped on the side of the vehicle, and that obviously broke whatever it was that she'd locked on, and it broke her focus or something. But and I turned around and said, "Did anybody stand?" Because she was not looking at us. We hadn't moved. I was parked a fair distance away from her, a good 20-25 meters, maybe even a little bit more than that. But it was a good, you know, it was a good distance away. And she'd start, and as I say, we hadn't moved. This is what the weirdest thing was, because we hadn't moved. And everyone said, no, nobody stood. But that cat told me somebody did something, because she was fine. As I say, she was a bit irritated, but she was fine. And then, as I say, I just saw her look, and that's when something happened, and it just snapped, and she, let's say, charged. And still to this day, I don't know exactly what it was, but yeah. So yeah, I turned around. Did anybody stand? No. But they looked pretty white-faced. So yeah. So whatever happened, whoever caused it, but she was looking, she was focused, and it was almost, I think it was the person at the back in the middle, because she was focused. I was like, okay. But yeah, very, very interesting. And Sherry, surprised about the terrain in Africa, thought it was more jungle-like. Looks like the terrain in the panhandle of Florida. As I say, this country is so diverse. It is incredible. You have the forest down in Neisner. If you go to the western side, it's very dry. You get the succulent and the Namakuru that I was talking about. And there's, you know, if they get a good rain, they get these blooms, and they're different every year. And you know, it's almost like probably one of the arid countries there in the US, I don't know, like Arizona or something like that. And then, yeah, the eastern side, which is where we are, we have the savannah. If you go to just south of Johannesburg, then you've got the grasslands. Yeah, very, very diverse. The mountain ranges, just over stone's throw away, we've got the Drakensberg. And then we actually have, there is areas in South Africa and Swaziland which have snow. I mean, you can go skiing. You know, it's crazy. And thanks, Terry, in New York. Also saying thank you for memorable opportunities to see. Definitely, there's a lot of memories there, hey. Is Gordy starting to get his place in the gang from JoJo? Definitely. I think he's taking on that role of alpha male, I think, pretty well. I think he was probably quite hesitant at the beginning because he's always obviously had Tank Man or other baboons to take control, and now all of a sudden it's on his shoulders. So he has seemed to be a little bit hesitant, but he's stepping up to the plate from what I can see. I'm sure Graham will probably be able to tell you a lot more. He's definitely feeling unrest there with the guys. Why are you guys not letting me in? Ustream is kicking me out again. Oh dear. I'm having to reload everything. Not good. Oh yes, that's an awesome one, Linda, in North Carolina. Yeah, I'd forgotten about it. See, that's the thing. There's so many. You forget about them until someone reminds you or you see something. But Linda saying you haven't been watching long, not too many memories, but at least you have some. And Induna dropping some of Yambidi Ordan's kill, and the hyenas went crazy over it and ran around the gander. That was, oh, that was incredible. I've never seen hyenas. Obviously, it's one of those behaviours you always hear about, but you very rarely see them again. You know, they were running in and out of the vehicles. I actually thought at one stage they were going to run headlong into us. But yeah, that was something. That really was something. Thoroughly enjoyed that sighting. You know, and hearing the high cackling call, and yeah, that was brilliant. Nice one. And also another hyena moment. From Ferrari. Fairy. I see, whenever you see that name, I keep thinking Ferrari. One of the favourite moments when Karula and both cubs were in the tree, hyenas under the tree, and the leg dropped off, and the hyena grabbed it and took off towards the Gunda. And they were chasing around and around and around. And I was very still, apparently. I think I just didn't want to get in the way of the camera. Because it's one of those, you know, you sort of got one of those moments going on, and you just sort of, you know, you don't want to get your head in the way, because you know this camera is going to be flying around and trying to catch all of the action. Oh, shame, wildlife girl, you missed it. 2 minutes afterwards, oh, gutted. Hi, Linda B. Dear, if you're still alive. Say, okay, he's still alive. Oh, she's gone to bed then. Yes, Seb is still alive. But Dia might not be in the And Sabrina saying first time saw Induna's tail injured, so concerned and shocked. Yeah, for sure, hey. It did look nasty, but that's the thing about animals. They are very resilient as well, and they are able to withstand quite a high. And I think Mark actually did say something that we do forget. They do have quite a high pain threshold. So there are a lot of things that they can withstand that we couldn't even think about. Oh yes, yes. Bolt saying about the baby elephant and our reaction. Yes, forgot about that one. That was awesome. That tiny baby elephant. Okay, I'm getting back into all of those. All of the chat rooms. Good, good. Oh yes, and the jigger as well. When we got stuck on the quarantine, we had to keep kicking the tire. Oh, that was a nightmare. I remember the behind the scenes for that. Actually, I did some of the camera work for that. That was quite fun. Oh, awesome. Show in Las Vegas, there was 7 elephant walking up the road, and you were so amazed, you were hooked from that point. It's your favourite moment. And a picture as well. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, the giraffe. Funny creatures, very funny creatures. Majingi lions walked, oh yes, walked right next to the Gunda. And one misty morning with the elephants, and the elephants kept coming towards us. And they were so quiet. That was it, and the mother showing the elephant to us. Oh, that was something. Yeah, the Majingi lions, when they were all walking past us, all 4 of them, and I literally could have reached out and touched them. Those big male lions, and they all were. And then one of them stopped, or kind of glanced our way as they walked past. That was incredible. And actually, the first time one of the Majingis did that, and they looked at me, and then looked at the camera, and carried on. That was something else. I mean, definitely when the leopard does it, but when the lion does it, wow, they stare into your soul. They really do stare into your soul. And those elephants, there is the diary of the elephants. Actually, I think that was one of the first 3D diaries we did. And I remember Alex was on camera with me, and that was such a magical morning. And we had, sort of the golden glow from behind the clouds, and then there was all the spider webs, and all the dew that was on the spider webs caught this golden glow, so it really gave it such a mystical feel. And then the elephants came out, and it was actually a day like today. We'd been delayed, and I'd heard that the elephants were actually up on Gallego Shortcut, and as soon as we had a break, we went up there and we caught up with them, and we sat with them for a good hour, I think it was. And oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Oh no, I'm talking about a different one. I'm mixing 2 days up. No, there was that day I was talking about. That's when we had the elephants mud bathing. But no, the other day we did go out on time because it was the sunrise with the golden glow. But yeah, I was talking about lemurs or something. Well, no, mongoose. I was talking about mongoose to a little boy called Jake, and it was part of his homework, I think. It's amazing what you remember, hey? Strange things. But yeah, he was doing a project on mongoose, and I was talking about the mongoose, and the elephant was there listening, and he came and stretched in front of us, and he crossed his legs as if he was listening to us, and then mum and baby came, and they kept coming closer and closer and closer, and they were actually feeding right next to the Gunda. And then she walked off, leaving baby with us to babysit. It was brilliant. Boat Dude, happy birthday, if you're still around. Stacey in Australia gave me the inside info. And certainly Lynn, I think definitely. There's been so many special ones, and definitely been a huge privilege to be sharing this all with you. And I think, yes, and definitely an adventure to actually be able to broadcast live from the bush. I mean, it's funny because you sort of get it into your head, and okay, you sort of go out there and you do this because you've been doing this for a little while now, and then I don't know, there'll be a moment that happens and you sort of catch yourself and you think, wow, this is actually possible. This technology is incredible. The fact that I can be sitting here in the South African bush and actually showing you something in real time. I mean, okay, sometimes we get the stream lag and that sort of thing, but when we get a really good stream, and it's been great for the last couple of weeks, in the fact that you've got this stream, and it is milliseconds, nanoseconds. It is an incredibly short time lapse, and it literally is. It is less than a second when we've got a really good stream. We can be watching what comes in from the Gunda on our little screen here, and watching what you guys watch, and it literally is like a split second. And the fact that this whole signal has to travel thousands of kilometers, I mean, really, I can't even fathom it. I can't get my head around it. Thanks, Deborah. Is there anyone you could write an email to or express an interest in the leopard project we're hoping to do? At this stage, no, but if there is anything that you guys can help us with, I will definitely be sure to let you all know. And especially on my webpage. if I can put that back up again. For those people who may have missed, I'm just going to try and do this for you. But yeah, if anybody has missed the beginning of Drive or the chat earlier on this morning, I have made my blog page now. No, don't want to do that. So I'm trying to do 3 things at once here. There we go. No, don't crash. Okay, here we go. So, my blog page. That is, whatever I do, wherever I go, I will keep that page. That page is my page, Tara's Tales, and if you would like just to keep a check whether you're on Facebook or not, I'll blog there. So whatever happens in my life, then hopefully you guys can keep up with that. I will be on Facebook, as will the guys, I'm sure. Email addresses, we'll have to double check with Yuri, but I can't see our email addresses going anytime soon. If they do, we'll forward through to everybody at the new email address, or when you do email, there'll be a forwarding address or something like that. But yes, so that's how you can keep up. Mark or Sebastian, I don't know if they're going to do a blog or not, but I'm sure they'll let you know if they are. Oh yes, when me and Mark were playing music through the iPod. And Deborah and Georgia. That was a fun drive. That was a fun drive. Oh yes. Melva Ann. First started watching about 1.5 years ago. It was probably about the same time I first started, and I was completely surrounded by elephants while on the road, and they were almost touching the Gunda. Lasted for about 45 minutes. That really was something else. That really was. Wow. Wow. I remember that one. And a wall of elephants as well. When Mark was presenting, I was on camera, and we had that wall of elephants, and they were showing such strange behaviour. And they were just a couple of meters from us. Also, that was quite intense. Cassie in Oregon, I'll ask Shannon to give Seb a kiss for you. I'm sure she'll enjoy doing that. Hi Hez, I'm sure Seb's on it. I'm sure he'll let her know. But I think she's actually going to be taking him to the airport as well. So yeah, you don't need to worry about that one. Hez saying anything with rhinos is tops. Oh, thanks, Hez. Hez in Minnesota saying favourite moments with all 3 of us. Yeah, we've definitely had a lot of fun together, hey? Definitely had a lot of fun. Sulina! Hi, Sulina. I hope you're well. And as I say, I will try from time to time to try and pop in on the cameras. I think that's what you're asking. But as I say, it really depends on what I'm going to be doing and all that sort of thing. Depends on how often I'll be able to get in touch. But as I say, there's all those avenues. I've got Twitter as well, so if there's something quick, I can just Twitter it and go drop in and say how's it. Like with Gordy the other day, I had Twitter open, and Gordy, it was easier for me to type. Gordy just came to my door. So yeah, little things like that. Or if I've put a new blog out, that's what I've been using it for actually, is just to send out when I've got a new blog. So if people aren't on Facebook, then that's sort of how you can get the updates on when I've got a new blog out. Oh, thanks, Luke. If you're still around, good night and sleep well. Yeah, interesting one, Cheryl Ann. Talking about the Burmese pythons in the Everglades. And doesn't anybody ever have an African rock python? Because they're very similar. Is it something about the African rock pythons that make them undesirable as pets? And I don't know what it is about Burmese pythons that makes them more desirable as pets. Maybe they've got a slightly better temperament. As I say, I've actually worked with Burmese pythons before, and as long as they do get to know you, and as long as you handle them, they're pretty, they're pretty easy to work with. But rock pythons, you don't. Yeah, you're right. You never really hear of people, even though, as I say, they're very similar. So it could have something to do with the temperament. It could have something to do with, in the past, maybe the Burmese pythons have been gathered from the wild and slightly easier, or sort of, I'm talking about years ago, maybe they were gathered from the wild ahead of the African rock python, and maybe there's just more in captivity now and they're easier to get hold of. Could be something as simple as that, but I'm not entirely sure. Donna's favourite moment, seeing the tiny, tiny baby elephant. Second, working out the day for the preschoolers and the parents at Sea Safari, and seeing little Max wave back at Mark. Oh, fantastic. I'm so glad we were able to do that, and great to hear it was a big success as well. That's fantastic. Too many to pick from Randy, but one day with Mark, saw two baby elephants playing, very sweet, and enjoyed how Mark enjoyed it as well. And definitely Genesis and Evelyn's little antics. Oh, definitely, hey. And I think I actually do remember the two baby elephants playing. But there's been a few times with the baby elephants playing, and they're always a fantastic sight to see. As I say, I was hoping we were going to catch up with the Gary gang. They were here yesterday, but unfortunately wasn't meant to happen. Deborah in Kentucky. Young Ellie spraying water at Mark, yes. Yeah, that's definitely up there. Wonky with Peter and Leishan. I'm so sad that I didn't meet Wonky. Maybe one day I'll get to meet Leishan. I remember when I came from my interview, and a lot of people saying, "Oh, you couldn't wait for me and Leishan to go out on drive together." But sadly, I never met her. I only recently met Peter, and actually that picture that was on Facebook on the Juma Junkies, Peter took, and that was the first time I met Peter. Well, the only time I've met Peter. He came down for a couple of days, and I just came back from Mozambique, and we all just happened to be here, and he said, "No, I want to take a picture of everybody." I'm really glad that he did. It was really nice meeting him. And that was it, yes, because me and Herman had come back, because we'd both gone over, because we had the same leave cycle. And we were grabbing dinner at Sleepers in Hoodspray. Really nice restaurant, actually. If ever you're in Hoodspray, go to Sleepers. It's behind Pick and Pay. There's Pick and Pay on the left and the garage on the right as you're heading out of Hoodspray, and Sleepers just behind it. You wouldn't know it was there unless you knew about it. Right on the railway line. But we were sitting there, and then all of a sudden we got this message saying Peter's in camp, and I don't think I've ever seen Herman eat so fast. And we headed back to camp, and he was able to catch up with him, which was really, really great. And Mishu hissing at Mark for parking over his food, yes. Yeah, that was brilliant. And I was actually on camera that day as well, and he looked over. I remember him looking over the top, and I'm just thinking, don't you even think about it, boy. You're not jumping in here with me. And Teddy being left alone and crying for help, moving close to Gunda instead for protection. And I think actually he did, the first time we heard Teddy was with Selena on board. That was very, very magical. And little Teddy found his voice. But I think definitely when Seb was there, Teddy definitely was louder. And of course, being able to watch the cubs, Misha and Induna, as well as Shavinzi and Shavambalana grow up, definitely, I think that has been a magical moment. Or a magical few moments, actually. And Ellie charging at Rex and chasing him down the road. I've not seen that one, actually. I've not seen that. And I bet that was quite an amazing time. Oh, Bonnie saying Mark was counting elephants at the dam. There's so many. He said something like, so many you couldn't count them. That does blow you away, definitely. Ed, will things be okay for the next few drives without Seb there? It was touch and go, but because the guests, there's a lot of guests at the lodge, and only a couple of people down at the lodge because others have taken leave. So we had to source somebody else, which we have done, but I'll leave that as a surprise for when they're here. I'm going to go and collect them at 2:30. Some of you might have been able to work out who it is, but I'm going to go and collect at 2:30, so they'll be back here in time to direct for us, and I'm sure you'll enjoy having a chat with them. Selena, will Teddy be unrecognisable soon? Probably, unless we can actually keep up with them. But even so, I mean, we've been having a look at the other four, and there's nothing really distinguishing between them. But Teddy does have a little spot of pink on its nose, and I'm hoping that spot of pink is going to change, because they don't have pink noses and then turn black like the cats do. So yeah, it'd be nice to come back hopefully and see if we can recognise little Teddy. We'll have to go through pictures and see if there's any spots or anything, any spot pattern or anything else that does stand out. Oh yes, thanks Jack, saying when we drove around the corner and there was 5 rhinos in the road and then they laid down and took a nap. Yes, oh, I love seeing the rhinos like that. Oh, apparently with Ellen, great memory was Seb zooming around in Gunda. Started with little baby Ellie. It ran to its older sister. She put a chunk around the baby and sort of patted her, saying, "It's okay, big machine won't hurt you." Then baby ran to mum and got the same response. "Don't worry, big machine's okay." Oh, brilliant. Oh yes, and obviously when the little boy Ellie's pretend to charge at us. Oh, that's brilliant. Having trouble getting the calendars. Have you tried the link on my blog, Ellen? That should take you to Lulu. That should take you directly to the page, and then you just click on the calendars and go through from there. Otherwise, you just go onto Lulu and type in either Karula or Juma, and then it should come up with those calendars as well. And for those people who may have missed the start of the drive this morning, I have actually redone the calendar from last year, so that if anybody missed those and still want the pictures, I've dropped the price. We're not going to be obviously using the money for the children anymore because I don't know what I'm going to be doing. So I've just dropped the price dramatically. I've redone the year so that it's from January 2012 to January 13, sorry. So you've got the 13 months there instead of 12 on that calendar, and then the newest one is just from January to December. So I've changed the dates, and I've also changed a little bit of writing at the end just to say the fundraiser was a success, we managed to do what we set out to do, and that sort of thing. So if anybody did miss the calendar, which a few people said they did, and if you still want to obviously have that calendar for the following year, then you can do. Sharon, no you're not, I remember that one. Shavinzi walking right up to Mark in the Gundo, and she actually sat down, I think probably a metre away from him, and you could actually see the footwell while with the camera and Shavinzi all in shot. So no, she did. She walked right up to him and sat next to the vehicle. Oh yes, Marge. The tyre changing, yes, with the squirrel, and the squirrel ran off with a nut. That was funny. I think that was me and Mark with it. Yeah, that was a good moment. Yes, and definitely don't forget Patrick. Patrick with the best laugh in the world. And Peter Patterson in Sweden. Pettersson, sorry. But definitely you can't forget Patrick and his laugh. Definitely a big highlight. And Linda, Induna sniffing Mark's leg. I think that was Mishu. I think that's the one that you were talking about when I was on camera. That's when we parked. We actually didn't realise at the time, but we'd actually parked over a few bits of bone that he wanted, and that's why he actually came right up to us, and he was kind of working it out and kind of, you know, sort of doing the head weaving, trying to see if he could see it. And then he sort of looked up, and he was probably a little bit closer to Mark than what he realised, and he kind of gave a bit of a snarl, and then looked over at me, and kind of almost had the look of, shall I jump in and get a better view or not? But yeah, that was a fantastic moment. Marge, a California scary moment, the elephant charge, and Mark's soft voice talking to it, almost had a heart attack. I think I must have missed that one. Just for Mark. Oh, baby Ellie's. I'll forward that through to him for you. Very, very cute. Yes, Seb. And his wicked sense of humour. Watching the hyenas and putting his finger out as if to pet one. Ashley. Definitely. That's a good one. Oh yeah, Patrick and Herman and the elephant at the marula tree. I think that was actually when the elephant pulled down the marula fruits, and didn't they hit them on the head or something with the marula fruits? Oh, brilliant. Sass, I did ask Seb, but he said he'll see how he feels, but I think he's probably resting now actually, before he has to fly, because he's got to fly fairly soon. So I think he's just wanting to make sure he doesn't look contagious, and so they won't let him fly. And Jean over in Canada, asking if you can get a picture of all three of us. We did actually take one for the newspaper, and I'll put that up, make it available to everybody. But I think that's the only one that we've got of all three of us. We actually had to do it on a self-timer, which actually I was quite impressed at how well it turned out. Oh, thank you so much, Sulina. As I say, one of these days I'd love to try and make it out to the US, and I'll room hop from county to county, or country to country, should I say. Yeah, I don't think his throat's swelling up. It's just, let's say, the hives just came up all over his face, on his body. Yeah, he looked a mess. Yeah, the flat tires. Oh my soul, the flat tires. Actually, that space of where the tires were going flat every other day. That I will not miss. It was actually quite funny. I remember the first time that my mum said no, I was able to get on and try and see the elephants, and I got a flat tire. And then as I went over the log, and you just hear this psh, and your heart just goes, ugh. We'd been trying to find elephants, and I heard that my parents were on board, and I was like, oh no, the first time my mum actually was able to see the elephants, and I get a flat tire and I can't follow them. And unfortunately the female elephant went, no thank you. She didn't like that sound either. And I remember being charged by an elephant, actually. That was another one, someone was asking about being charged. And again, I could see they weren't too happy, and they were actually quite far, and we'd spotted them, and I think there must have been a predator or something in the area, but they were really anxious. And I stopped probably a good 60, 80 meters from them, and Patrick says, no, go closer, go closer. I said, no, there's no way I'm going closer, they're not happy. And they started moving closer to us, but I could still see they were really agitated. And then all of a sudden, one of the females just breaks from the herd, but she has to run around the trees to get to me, and she starts running towards us. But as I say, I think she's slowed down, but she wasn't showing signs of just a warning charge, and she wasn't showing signs just of a full-on charge. She was showing signs of both, and that was really bizarre. But she came charging up to the vehicle, and something said to me, don't shout at her, just talk. So I just said to her, hey lady, what's this? And it was almost as if it broke her from her spell or something, but she stopped suddenly, and she was probably about 1.5 meters. I mean, she was towering over the vehicle. And I don't know, whether she was just going to go through with it. I don't think she was. I think she wasn't sure in her own mind what she was going to do. But certainly, my heart was in my mouth at that stage. But yeah, I just spoke to her, and she was okay with it. She backed off, and we saw the same elephants the next day, and they were fine with us, you know. So obviously it wasn't us that had upset them. There was something, and as I say, they were just very edgy, and that's why I just refused to go closer. But yeah, quite amazing. Oh yes, and the Great Gander Caper. I think the videos are still on the Safari Channel webpage. If you go to videos, you'll find all the behind the scenes videos that we did. Oh, and Jared going off road, you also heard the shh. Yeah, Mark definitely got stuck well and truly. Doing the chicken dance, yes. Terry. Mark lost the nut and did the chicken dance. Oh, if I've still got you there, Ellen. Speaking of self-timers, always got a picture of Dad's backside. Yes, I've got many of those as well. But at least I think the people who make the cameras must have had the same problem, because I think nowadays you find that the time is too long sometimes. But yeah, definitely. Oh yes, and Gordy and swimming at the dam and giving himself a dust bath. Definitely, Elizabeth. Definitely. And I hope Beans, I wonder if Beans is watching with Barbara. And all the other feline friends and poochies out there that know my voice as well. I'm going to miss hearing about them. Yes, they've got out of the chicken dance. Unfortunately, everybody, I can feel my stomach starting to talk to me, so I'm going to have to go and find some food. But thank you very much for sending in all your memories. It's been great to walk down memory lane, and I'm sure we'll be doing it on Drive. I was actually hoping to do it on Drive today, and maybe a little bit on Thursday as well. I'm sure we will on Thursday as well. Oh, behind the scenes stuff, Wildlife Girl. If you go onto Safari Channel Facebook page, under videos, that's where you'll find all those videos. We haven't taken them off, so they should all still be there. I think maybe on YouTube as well, they might have been put up, but certainly on the Facebook page. And I think I actually put them on my Facebook page as well, so have a look on my public Facebook page. And if not, I'll put them up there, just in case something happens to the Safari Channel Facebook page. I don't think it will, but just in case it does, I'll put them there as well. Yeah, my stomach is talking to me. It's going, I'm surprised sometimes you guys don't hear it on Drive. Gets very persistent. Oh yes. Where I scared the what's it out of the hippo. At Gary Dam, yeah, shame. I still can't help laughing at that, it was very funny. Shame. I'm sure we'll get over it though. Oh, well, I'm sure he's going to be fine. Hey, don't worry, don't worry. I'm just glad that we were able to be so close to camp. We were able to get him back quickly so he could get the antihistamines. When he took the cyanide, I said, no, we're going to have to try and wrap it up shortly, I think, or wrap it up soon, as in, you know, the next 10-15 minutes. And then when he said he's got stung by a bee, and I'm like, no, we've got to wrap it up now. You don't mess around with things like that. Yep, I'm definitely going to go and find myself some breakfast. That is high on the list of priorities now. Yeah, I'm sure Seb will definitely let us know, because as I say, he's going to be in Cape Town soon, so we'll have to find out from him how he's doing, but I'm sure he'll be alright. I'm sure he'll be fine. Yeah, you saw me in third gear. Yeah, when you see that, you know something's up. Oh, couple last emails that have just come in. Debbie wanted to know where Seb is going. He's going down to Cape Town. He's got some editing work to do down there, so he's going to be heading down to Cape Town. He was trying to organise it for after the 24th, but unfortunately the way things have happened, obviously it's a little bit of extra income for him as well. So unfortunately, with everything, with the drives closing, he's had to take it. So, but scary moment when Karula's male cub was surrounded by so many water buffalo, and he thought he was going to be trampled, and he ran up a tree. One of the buffalo was looking up at him, hoping he wouldn't fall from the tree. Definitely. But they are African buffalo rather than water buffalo. But definitely, I think one of those in your heart, heart in your mouth moments. I think we've had a few nail-biting moments with the hyenas and the leopards too. And obviously the cubs meeting in Duna and the Jordan male, definitely up there, definitely. Oh yes. Yes. I think we've all done it. We've all done it to our camera people. Mark running into a hidden hole and almost throwing Seb out, and then asking Seb, "Did you hurt yourself? Did you hurt yourself?" Like it was Seb doing it. Yeah. Nana wanting to know the proceeds from the store going to a dry fund or Juma or something. Oh, I did remember reading something about that. Hold on, let me just see. I think there was a blog saying about where the money was going. I know Shirley was going to donate her money to something. The money from the drives. Let me just see. It could have been on this one. No. Sure. I have to have a double check. I really can't remember where it was and where the money was going to. But if anything, it'll probably help with the upkeep of the waterhole camera down at the dam. My calendars, basically, I wasn't sure what was going to happen with the drives, and I wasn't sure if I'd still be around or not. So I haven't done anything with those calendars. So if you buy them, the money does go to me. But I don't make that much off of the calendars. I just kept the calendars the price low, just to make sure that, you know, if anybody out there wanted the pictures, then you can enjoy them. But obviously, I'd get a little bit of money from it, which will help at this stage. But yeah, as I say, I was thinking of maybe trying to do more in the community and stuff, but it's just going to be difficult for me because I don't know where I'm going to be or what I'm going to be doing, and it is a little bit of a commitment, and you know, obviously being in the area does help, trying to get the money to where it should go and that sort of thing. I do have that last bit of money that still was donated from last year. I said I was going to leave it to let it pile up until Christmas, and I was going to spend it, but then obviously with the 3 months going by, then with the drives closing and starting up again, I've suspended it a little bit. So I'm going to be buying a few more. I did ask actually the head teacher if there was anything else that she needed sports equipment wise, and she said no, she's good, but she did ask for some trousers for dancing, for the traditional dancing. So I think I'll be buying those, and then a few more footballs and maybe a few more tennis balls, that sort of thing. So yeah, so I'll take a picture of what I do buy them, and that'll be just after the 24th, because I'm still going to be around here for a week before we go to. I'm actually going to go to Mozambique with friends, so that's, at least I'm going to have a week off, and then I go home, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, so I'll make sure that all the balls and trousers and everything get there, and that'll be everything that was raised. Because I was actually going to use it to replace whatever was damaged as well. So yes, hopefully we'll be able to get them. A few of the bits. There wasn't much left over, and as I say, there's a couple of more donations, so it should be a few more balls and things, which will be good. And then, as I say, I'll post them up on the Facebook page and post them on my blog page as well, so you can see what the final bits went to. Ooh, and just a couple of last ones before I say goodbye. Marge saying about the chasing of the Gunda, the runaway Gunda with Seb. Yes. Oh, okay. Thanks, Deborah. Sending me the link to the video with Rexon and Simon with the Ellie chasing them. So I'll definitely be watching that. Thank you very much. Okay, but I'm going to have to go because otherwise my stomach is really going to, it's starting to think that my throat's been cut. So I'm going to have to go. But do take care, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me, and thank you for sending in all your wonderful memories. And as it just goes to show, there are some fantastic memories there. And I'm sure the archives will still work, so you will be able to revisit them, definitely. But take care, and we'll see you again here at 4 o'clock Central Africa time. I'm hoping the weather will hold out. I am hoping. Carry on hoping. Live your life in hope. But yes. But do take care, and I shall see you on the other side. Bye, folks.